Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Can you believe I'm actually back? And I actually have a little bit of a desk, not much, but you should see the other part of the studio because I've got boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff for the craft fair. So forewarning, my dogs are in a mood tonight. It's a full moon, it's the only thing I can think of. I have no idea, so you may hear them. So earlier today, I'd done a flip through of this altered composition book. And I can't say that I got this idea from one single person. I combined several different YouTube videos and Pinterest posts to get this. So this is what it started out as, was a composition book. And you see I've got the cover decorated, the inside cover, I've got a pocket in there. Look at this cool pocket here. And then I have this huge tag in there. And let me put this back in. And then I have some pockets on the front and back of that. You know, I've got some of my journaling stuff. And I should have tore out some of the pages, but I didn't. But I will be doing that tonight. I have a tab. Look at this divider. Check that out. And I've got a pocket on the front and the back. And then you go back here and I have another divider, and you can hear it's amazing. This is some of my craft fair stuff. And then back here is another one of those cool slanted pockets, and then another pocket on the back, and then we have it like that. This is a great craft fair idea, or just a journal all together. It's amazing. So let me just go ahead and show you guys how I done it. We'll get started on it and we'll just see what we can do. So I'm going to set this one to the side, and I'm just going to leave one of these out to work on. Now, this is, it has 100 pages in here, so it's 50 pages front and back. I do not need that many pages, nor do I want that many pages, because with this one, you can already see, look at that. Look how chunky it's already getting, because I left all of the pages in there. I do not want to do that with this one. And when you choose these journals, you want to make sure to get the ones that are sewn in. It makes it a lot easier when you're altering them. So I don't mess with the first couple of pages. And so literally what I do is I count 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to rip out 3 pages. So and don't throw these pages away because we can use them. So I'm just going to attempt to rip these out. So there's 1, 2, and there's no real rhyme or reason as to, you know, how many. You don't want to pull all of your pages from one section. So now I'm going to go back to the back of the book here, and I am going to flip the 3 pages that I skipped at the beginning of the book. And I marked my place where I was at with the ruler. And so now these next 3 pages were the ones that I tore the ones out from the other side. So you can see these should just come right out. So there's 1, 2, and then it should be this one, 3, okay? So now what I'll do is I'll just, since I'm already here, I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, and I'll do 4 and then tear out 2. So there's, you know, just however many you think. Like I said, there's no real reason, but you just want to make sure to not tear them out in the same spot, because then it will look really, you'll be able to tell. But the way that I'm doing it, you're really not going to be able to see that I have removed pages. So this should be 1, and you can see that this one's already coming undone, and 2. So now let's see, let's just count a few more. 1, 2, 3, and we'll just go ahead and do 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And with it being sewn in like this, it makes it a lot easier. I mean, you could do it if it was glued, but it's not nearly as simple. So that's why I like the sewn in journals. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And you see how they just kind of come out. So now let's do 1, 2, 3. Let's just pull 2 out. So I done 3, and then I'm going to pull 2. So 1 and 2. And then I just use my ruler to keep my place. So we done 1, 2, 3. And if you lose count, it's not the end of the world. You can just look at the spine of the book and you'll be able to tell where you pulled it from. Okay, so let's just do a few more, and I may go ahead and speed this part of the video up. Okay guys, so I am back, and when you look at it now, you really can't see exactly where I have taken all of those pages from, and that's what I want. So now let's go ahead, and the next thing that you want to do is you want to go ahead and create your those angled pockets. And let me show you how to do that. So you're going to take 2 sheets of paper, the front 2 sheets, and I am going to fold them down like this. And the reason I do it this way is just to make sure that I get the folds even. Now this one is going to stay this way. I'm going to flip it over, but the second page I'm actually going to fold it in the opposite direction of what I just folded it. And I just want to make sure that my my folds are the same. And you want to make sure that you do it towards the outside like this, because this is what's going to create our pocket, and when we're putting stuff down in it, we don't want stuff snagging on it. So let me grab a glue stick for this part. And I am throwing stuff down. So y'all have to excuse me 1 second. Okay, let me grab my glue stick. I've got my, one of my craft fair buckets is blocking my glue stick drawer. But I win. Okay, so for this part, I will use a glue stick because I'm going to be gluing on it at extra. So I'm just going to take my glue stick and I'm just going to glue this flap down right here. And that's just so I don't have to stress over that. So I'm going to just glue that down. You can get your bone folder and burnish it down real good if you want to. I'm not going to stress over that part right now. I'm going to flip the page, and I'm going to do the same thing to this flap. And again, just make sure that you glue this to the what would be the outside of the pocket. And I just tore it, but that's okay because you're not going to see this. All right. And let's go ahead and do this on the back flap as well. And then we'll go ahead and move on to the next part. So I'm going to the back and I'm doing the same thing. I'm grabbing the back two sheets and I'm just folding it down just like that. Okay, and that one I'm going to leave folded that way, but this one I will fold over and I then fold it back the other way. And like I said, I do it like that because I want to try and keep that edge as even as possible. And then I'm going to do the same thing to this that I did to the front. And then we'll flip this over and do the same thing. Okay, so now we've kind of got our pockets going. Now, the reason I went ahead and done this first was because, which I'm not going to do all of that on camera today, what I'm about to tell you, because if I did, it'd take too long. But these pages are very thin. So what you want to do is you want to take, glue stick is perfectly fine, and you want to open a page, or and skip that one. Now go to this one here and put your glue stick around the edges real good, especially. And then I'm just going to close that page back on it, burnish it down real good. And so now this page is now a double thick page, and it's much stronger, and at some point I'll put like some washi tape around the edges or something like that. So I flip the page. I'm going to open this page up like this, and then this one I will do the same thing and just apply some glue to it. Okay. And then I just simply close that page down and smooth it out. So that's how you get your thicker papers than what comes in the journal, because these are just so thin. So we're done with that part of it for now. You would do that throughout the entire rest of the book, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. So now the next thing I want to concentrate on is covering this. And I think I'm going to use this paper pad here. And I'm just going to pick out some papers that I want to use. So I'm thinking I like this. And I'm going to pick out a couple of different patterns, and I'll explain to you why. And I'm just going to go ahead and pick those patterns out now so that I don't have to keep coming back and grabbing this. I may even want this plain colored piece, so I'm going to go ahead and tear it out as well. I've already cut a hole with that. I'm just looking to see what else there is. That dark one might be pretty as well. And I'm just looking to see, because there's so many pretty pieces in here. I don't know about that one yet. Ooh, I love that one. Do I have another one of those? I know that's the only one I have of that pattern because I've already used it. Ugh. But it's okay. So I do want to pull that out because I may end up using that. Okay, so that's going to do me for right now. I will need more and I'll explain why. So what I need to do first is I need to figure out what I want to be my front cover and my back cover. And you know what? I think I may do my front and back cover the same. So let me grab the second piece of that. So this will be my front and back cover. And then I need a little strip to go right here. And I don't know if I want that or if I want this dark. I'm thinking I want this dark. Okay. So these I'm going to set to the side for now. And I'm going to set these papers out of the way. Don't get rid of those papers because you can use those for sure. Now, I want to get rid of this branding strip. Even though I'll be cutting this paper, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of it so that it'll fit into my trimmer a little bit better. And don't throw that away because that is a pretty little piece. You can use that strip for something. And I'm just going to do the same thing to this one. Okay, now that I've got those done, this book should be, I think, 9.75 inches tall. And it is, so it's 9 3/4 of an inch tall. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cut these pages. I'm going to leave them at the 12 inches in width, but I am going to cut the height down to the 9.75. So it actually like this because that's where that was. So let me get this turned around. And I'm going to just set this in, and I'm going to go ahead and do both of them at one time. And I want them to be 9.75 inches. Actually, let me do this because I can't half see. So I'm just lining it up for the 9.75 and getting it on there. And if it's a little bit too long, I can always cut that down. Don't throw that away. We will use that. Now let me cut this one at 9.75. Okay. Now the other thing I need to go ahead and do is that dark green piece that I'm going to use for like my side there. I am just going to tear that strip off the top of it as well. Now, I think I want my strip on the front, I think I want it to be 2 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this at 4 inches for right now. Okay, that is both of my front pieces, or the edge piece. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut it at the 9.75. And I do it like that just to minimize the amount of waste that I have. And now I'll go ahead and I'll cut it down to 2. Okay, so there we go. These can be set to the side for now. We do not need these right now. I do not need this right now. So now I've got my my composition book back. And the first thing I'm going to do is I am actually going to glue this strip on right here. And you want to make sure, I'm going to actually use, let me grab some double-sided tape. I'm going to do a combination of the double-sided tape and my glue. And so you want to make sure that you get it as close to this black seam as you can get it, but you don't want to go over it. So just put that down. And I'm actually going to go ahead and put a few strips of this down because we will be covering the entire front cover in just a minute. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the time to do that. Okay, and right here on this edge, I want to do the same thing. I want to get as close to that edge as I can, but I do not want to go over that edge. Okay, now I do have it hanging over a little bit right in here, which is fine. I can just trim that off. And I'm just making sure I don't have it going over anywhere else, and I don't. So I need to go ahead and remove these two strips right here. So I'm just using my little pokey tool. Okay. And I'm also going to use some Fabri-Tac along with that double-sided tape. The Fabri-Tac just gives me the little wiggle room, I guess you could say. So now I'm going to take this piece here, and I'm going to have to turn this so that I can see. And I am going to line it up down here at the bottom. I'm going to line it up with the bottom of my book and the bottom of the that little black strip. And I'm just going to go all the way across the top of it. Just like that. It needs to come over a little bit down here at the bottom. Not much, just a little bit. Okay, so that's done. And I'm just, where is my bone folder? What did I do with it? I just had it. Oh well, I'm not going to stress over it right this minute as I'm stressing over it. So now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and remove these pieces of the tape backing. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a whole bunch of, not a whole lot, but I do want a good little bit of the Fabri-Tac down. Okay, so now that I've got that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 12-inch, it's 12 inches wide, and it's 9 3/4 tall. And I'm going to line that up at the bottom right there. And then I'm going to line it up along right here. And don't worry if you have that little bit of gap that you might can see right there, because we're going to put something over that. And so now I am just making sure that I have this area done. I do need to grab my bone folder. What did I do with it? Because I do need to make sure that's burnished down good. Y'all hear my squeaky chair? It is awful. I don't know why it's squeaking so bad, but it does. And I don't know what I done with my bone folder, and so, oh well. So it goes. I have like 50 of them, and you know, of course, when I need one, I cannot find any of them. But I know where something else is that I can use. If I can get to it. Okay, here we go. So I just want to burnish this down good just to make sure that it's in there really good. All right, so now we're going to open this up, and this will actually become our inside here. And so I'm just kind of looking to make sure I get everything lined up and before I burnish that fold down. And then now that I've got it lined up at the bottom and at the top, now I'll go ahead and burnish that fold down like that. And don't worry about this. We'll deal with that in a minute. So let's get our tape back. And let's put a little bit of tape down. And you can use, you don't have to use tape, you can use your wet glue, you can use an ATG, anything like that, but just keep in mind that if you use like a wet glue that has a high water content, this paper is very thin, and so it will wrinkle on you if you use it on the paper. All right, so let me burnish these down real good. And now what I'm going to do is the same basic thing. I'm just going to pull these off. Or attempt to. There we go. Almost. Just like that. Okay, and so I do want to do the same thing. I want to put some Fabri-Tac down. And I'm going to put it on the edge over here because I'm not sure, I can't remember where the edge went over there. And I want to make sure this edge is done, but I don't want to get any on that strip yet. So I'm just making sure I have it real good around the edges here. And I do. Okay. And so I am going to very carefully fold this over. Make sure everything lines up, and it does. And then I'm going to burnish it all down. Okay. Now, if you remember, our composition book has rounded corners, and right now it's squared, but your 1/2 inch corner chomper is the perfect size to go ahead and round those corners. Okay, so that's done. So let's go ahead and do the back cover, and I will probably speed up this part. Okay guys, and now I am back, and I don't know if you guys see, on this front cover we had a pretty good little gap right here, about a 1/2 inch, but on the back cover there's like no gap, and I had folded it with the gap being there and realized that it was folded too short. So these books are not all square and have the same, that's why we are going to be putting something there. Okay, so now let's go ahead and let's see, let's make a pocket for in here. And I think I want to use, let's use, I don't know. Let's go ahead and use that solid piece. And so let's see, let's do our pocket, maybe, let's go ahead and cut this down to 9 3/4 inches. And then let's do our pockets at, and I'm going to go ahead and put one in the back, even though it really doesn't need it. Just to kind of keep everything uniform, I'm going to go ahead and put one there. So I've cut 2 sheets at 3 inches by 9 3/4 inches. I am going to round the top part here on each one. And I am going to punch a little pull in there. Just something real small. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my glue and I am going to glue around 3 sides. Just like this. Okay. And then I am going to line it up. And I don't want it completely against the spine there, but it's okay if it does get kind of close. And so I'm going to put that in there just like that. And so now we have this cute little pocket. Okay, and now let's do the same thing on the back. Even though I don't really need one on the back, we're still going to do it. I just like the way it looks. And I'll show you how we're going to cover these pockets here and do the tab, because we need to get this show on the road. Okay, look how cute. Okay, I'm loving it. Now, the next thing is we need to cover these, and I think I want to use, and I'm going to use the same cardstock for the front and the back. So let me grab some out. I think I want to use this for one of the pockets. Actually, I can use one sheet for one pocket. So do I want to do the back pocket the same? I don't know. And let's go ahead and get some paper out for our tab dividers, and I think I'm going to do them in a solid color. So one will be this, and then let's see, what color do I want to do the other one? Or, ooh, what about if I done it that color, like that? I don't know. Maybe let's do it the cream color if I got a second piece of the cream. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, and I'm going to set these on top. So let me show you how I do my, when I'm doing the dividers, or the pockets here. What I do is I put my paper where I want it to be, and then I open this up, just like this. And I make sure my paper's lined up the way that I want it. And then I just take a pen, or I prefer a pencil, but I don't have a pencil here. And I do it on the back side, and I just kind of go along that paper edge. Okay. Now let me cut that out. Now I've got a mess. Alright, so I'm just going to cut this out very quickly. And doing it this way is just the easiest way. That way I'm not having to worry about measuring it, because my measurements always are off. And this is sometimes, I don't know how, but sometimes I even get this off. So this will go on here just like that. So let's go ahead and glue this down. And I'm just going to glue this part here. Ooh, I'm getting it on the paper. On the other paper, not the paper I'm supposed to be getting it on. So you really want to pay attention to your edges. That's where you really want to pay attention, and then in the middle you can just do a bunch of like squiggles. Okay. And so now what I do is I actually like to take that, put it over, and open that up, and then line it up like that. And now that I've got it lined up, I will burnish it down. And there we go. And then this, you'll have to kind of train that piece there to fold a little bit, which it's fine. We can do that. So now I need to take my other piece, and I need to open this one up and get it lined up where I want it to go. Not like that, because I have, look at that. Did y'all see that? I was trying to do it with that thing on it. That would not have been good. I would have cut it wrong for sure. Okay, so I'm just lining it up the way I want it. Flipping it open. Just checking everything. Make sure I got all my lines good. Which I don't feel like I have them good, but because I want it to kind of close, but it's okay. It'll be fine. Now I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to draw around, maybe. Lord of mercy, I'm glad that's on the inside. Y'all see my drawing skills. I can't see what I'm drawing or tracing, and so I'm like making a mess. Did I get that? I think I don't know. Okay, so let me cut that out. I think I've messed this one up, but it'll be all right. We'll make it work. We will make it work somehow. So I'm just doing like that. Now let me just take a look at it before I go gluing it all down. And I think it looks good. All right, so now let's put some glue on this. And again, pay attention to your edges. And just, you know, on the inside area there, you can just do a bunch of little squiggles. I'm putting some under that because it's aggravating me. Which is not going to make a difference once I get it all glued down, but I don't care. All right, so now I'm just going to line this up like this. Make sure it's nice and lined up. And it is. And so you see, there's that. Now, the next thing I need to do is just put some glue along this edge here and the bottom. And close it over. And now we have that deep V pocket. Okay? And so we're going to do the back one the exact same way. I'm not going to do that one on camera. Because it'll take, you know, there's no sense in me doing that. You guys can do that. So now the next thing I want to show you is my, to do my tab dividers. So I simply just kind of randomly pick where I want to put it. No rhyme or reason. I take one sheet and I put this behind it. The same thing that we just did. Make sure it comes down the way I want it. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do this side because that side's aggravating me, and I may just do a double one of it. So that's what I'm going to do because it's the way it's sitting, it's aggravating me. And I'm just going to do it like this. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm taking my sheet like that. I am going to trace around that piece of paper. Hopefully I can't see where the paper is because it's white on white, and y'all know my vision is not good. I don't know if I got it, but we're going to try it. Okay, so I got that one. So let me go ahead and cut that one out real quick, and then I'll cut the other one out. And then I'll do the second one off camera. And I'll glue all my pages down and that kind of stuff. And then I'll come back to show you guys what it looks like. And again, if my paper is a little too long, it's not a problem because I can go in and I can trim it. And I'd rather it be a little bit too long than to cut it too short. So I need to do that one more time with one more sheet of paper because it's going to go on the back side. So again, I'm just getting it down in there. And I'm just going to trace around it. Hopefully, I cannot tell where the paper is because my vision. I'm just hoping I've got it somewhere along in there. You guys know how my vision is, so y'all know this is probably awful. But it'll give you the idea of how you do this. And I do this before I do make the sheets into the double thickness. And everything will still come out right because we're using 2 sheets of paper. Okay, that does not look right, but it's okay. So let's go ahead and do this front side. And I'm just going to use glue, my Fabri-Tac. You can use your score tape. You can use your ATG. I would not advise using a glue that has a lot of water content because this paper is so thin. Okay, so this is how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to set that down in there like I had it. Like that right there. And then I'm just going to open that paper up onto it. And that's just how I've found that it's easiest for me to do that kind of stuff, because if I try to line it up, it's not going to happen. And so I'm going to do the same thing to this one here. You know, really get the edges good. Okay, and then, it's not going to work exactly right on this, but we're going to make it work. I'm just going to line it up as best as I can, and then I'm just going to drop it down. Okay. And it actually looks pretty good, believe it or not. I surprise myself sometimes. And then the same thing, I'm going to round my corners. And I can see that I'm going to have to put some washi tape or something on there because you can see my black pen marks, but it's okay. And then I'll do the tabs there. So I'm going to pause the video because I am going to do the other tab and the other back pocket, or the other pocket, off camera. And I will come back and we will work on it some more. So I'll be back, guys. Okay guys, so I am back and I have done, I'm pretty much finished with this. So I put a strip down that between the 2 pieces of cardstock on the front as well as on the back. I have the pocket here that I just added a tag and a little journal card to. On this pocket right here, I done 2 pockets, a little one and a bigger one, and I just added a tag with some sari silk there and a little journal card. Then I created a large tag to go in this pocket here with just a little sentiment on it. And you can absolutely journal on this. I have the Sorry Silk up there. I have a pocket over here on the back with just a little tag stuck in it. And then my pages are doubled now. They are 2 pages thick. And so I can put some washi on the sides of them if I want to, whatever I need to do. On my, my divider tab here, I put a pocket right there. I created a tab, and then I just put an eyelet, and I have a little charm. And I'm sorry, the lighting is so bad right this second. Let me see if I can change that. And it has a little charm hanging on it there. I didn't do anything to the back. I kind of left that because I don't know how I want to use that part yet. Then over here on this tab divider page, I have 2 pockets. So in this little pocket, I have like a little journal card that I stuck down in it. I have a couple of little tags. And again, another one of the eyelets and a little key. And I left that back blank because again, I don't know how I want to use it. Then on this one, this divider here, or this pocket here, I have 2 offset pockets with some little tags. I have another one of those really large journal cards. I don't have anything on this one yet because I'm not sure. I don't know, I might want to put a pocket or something on it. I'm just not sure. I have a side pocket on there, and then I have a little card tucked down in there. And then on this back, I have a pocket, and then I just put a large tag there. And then, remember me telling you not to throw those branding strips away. I could see a little bit of the white on this, so I just took one of those branding strips and stuck it on there. So that's it, guys. That is the Altered Dollar Tree composition book. From start to finish, probably 2 hours. And, you know, my composition book was $1.25. I used probably 6 sheets of 12 by 12 paper. So, you know, and then the glue, the little bit of embellishments that I use, I'll just knock that key off. I guarantee you I have less than $3 in this little composition book. So this would, you know, and I probably, just for like my craft fair, if I, you know, take any of these to my craft fair, I probably won't put as many embellishments in it. I don't know, I may, I'm not real sure. But you can see I have just a couple of dollars in it. I may take this, sell it for $15 or so, and that's a very good profit for the little bit of time that I've got in it and the little bit of material. So there you go, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're going to try one of these or if you have already tried one, and I can't wait to see photos if y'all do. I will see y'all later. Bye, guys.